session, which is got erased from the Skype. I don't know how to get that back, but we'll try to. So again, we are here to tune in to God. How do we tune into God? We, whenever we tune in our radios, which we used to in the earlier days before all this internet, stuff came in, basically to match a frequency because the transmitter is transmitting certain frequency and we receive it and we tune in. Now here, it's the same thing in the spiritual perspective. What is it tuning in? Tuning in is when all the three H Swami says heart, head, and hand, heart, head, and hand. The three dimensions. They all start getting synchronized. When they three are in unison, we start hearing the voice of the conscience. Why we don't hear is because we have all the three aspects getting into different directions. All right. So when we have this, when we go within, when we get the intuition which is inside, it is tuning into the voice of God, tuning in to the conscience, tuning into the source within. And then that is something which we call as true satsang, which helps us to connect to the divine. Satsang is connection sitting next to the changeless truth. Satsang. All right. And it doesn't need a special corner, it doesn't need a special day, it doesn't need a special moment. Why? Because it is something that we are striving. Why we say happy new year? Because we want to be happy only on that day. Again the same thing starts, and that's what Bhagavan says. It is not restricted to one day. Happy new year is a new year, is a day when every day you become happy, then every that day becomes a new year or a new day. So Madbhakta yatra gayati tatra shanti narada. It doesn't matter where you are. Wherever you sing my glory, Lord Narayana says to Narada, when he asks about where do you actually reside, where can we find you in the branch office, head office, he says, wherever my glory is recited, with all the three in synchrony, as we spoke about heart, head, and hand, I will install myself. Sarvada Sarvakalishu. Now, where? Sarvada Sarvakalishu Sarvatra Harinam Chintanam Nididhyasanam. Anywhere, anytime, any place. All right. It is beyond all these, requirements that we have ourselves set in. No, no, this is this day. Yes, at least that day, Thursday, we go to bhajans. At least on Sunday, we do Narayan Seva, but it doesn't mean it is restricted to that. And while we are here, coming again collectively, to search and to find that source within, to reconnect, let's understand it's like the sun rays, which is on everyone equally across the globe, while it enters only those houses where the windows are open or crack open. It's very important for us to understand the Lord is waiting, the light is there, everything is there equally on us. It's us as receivers to tune into the transmitter, to see his. Why? Because he's waiting for us to open that. He's waiting us to give. He has been granting us boons. Now I'll share with you. When I came from Singapore on 22nd, Bhagavan blessed me to be in Perthi. So we were in Perthi for about 5 days, and it was a fantastic darshan. Christmas time, and it was so beautiful. The carols and the songs and the Sai University students putting up. I can't tell you. It was, I think, about 28 countries, musicians who came together and performed there. It was fantastic. It was completely spiritual, sublime atmosphere. So we had that to darshan, and I came to Delhi. As I told you, I think I shared last time when 2022 saw a lot of things where my father was very, very critically ill. I had to rush and then be with him for a few months, and Bhagwan brought him back. Then my sister had to undergo a brain surgery for a tumor, which was not malignant, but it had almost impaired her vision to about 60%. She was not able to see, and it was going on. So it was an urgent thing. She has shared this. And then the news came somewhere in October, I think, or November. Yeah, October, November, when my brother, who is himself a doctor, was diagnosed with very high stage for kind of cancer, malignant stomach cancer. So all these things were happening, and while it was happening, we do what we do. Uh, so my trip to Puttaparthi was also to, tuning to Swami and say that whatever best happens for him, be by his side. And I went to Delhi for that chemo session where he was there. We were here, and I came with the vibhuti and all. And I'll share you a little bit more later once I get to one of the slides there. Now, what happened in Delhi was I lost my wallet. Okay, now people can connect. Arey, you went to Puttaparthi, you have all this, and then what happened? All the credit cards, my foreign currency, my Indian currency. I mean, I think 5 credit cards were there, and my Singapore IC was there. Everything just went off. We had come from a dinner in the night, got down from that. I didn't realize the purse fell off, and these guys, everybody searched in the night. They could not find the wallet. They could not find it because it was not there. And I knew somewhere around there it has fallen, because when you keep the wallet from your back pocket to the front on your lap or something, to pay someone, I didn't put it back. And once you get off the car, it's likely that the wallet will fall there. So the only place I got off was in front of the house in Delhi. So next day, when during my morning walk, okay, Bhagwan tests, when these things happen, of course, it has happened with me in Sentosa also, and I had shared when unknowingly one of these our Sentosa volunteers, those who are there, young boys who do this part-time or whatever, he came from nowhere, and then he is telling that, we have got a message from our security that they found a wallet. And I was praying to Swami then, because they were about $600-700. Swami, if I haven't taken any unfair money or earned by unfair means, then please try to return to me. That was only prayer. And that's miraculously how he tells me this, and there's a wallet which is exactly found in the midst of a holiday season, when the crowds are too much, and it had dropped in the bus. It was dropped in the bus when I was getting off. So similar, fast forward to Delhi this year, 2022 on 26th December, if I'm not mistaken. So they all said they could not find it. The next morning I went. The next morning I was going for a walk. In front of the gate, exactly there, brothers and sisters, what I found Swami's photograph. Now that photograph is something which I always kept in my wallet. The wallet was not there, but the photograph was there. Now that photograph, I was so happy that I've got more than what a wallet can give, or whatever you lost, because it was a message to me. The message was, I'm there with you. No matter the world goes, the purse goes, the things go, I should be there always with you. And that was the first thing I got it. So I took that, and I was so happy that I got it. I told my brother when I came, see, I've got it. Swami is there with me. Never mind whatever loses. What happens? I come to Satna, where I am right now. After 10 days, I get a call from an unknown number. Now that call is first verifying my credentials, my name, all that. Now what happened was, this gentleman, this wallet fallen was picked up by somebody who took out the Indian currency, and possibly thought nothing else matters to him. He had thrown near the metro station, picked up by one of the guys who saw Saima Hotel card inside, because that wallet had that card. He called up that hotel and said, is by the name Bindu Shekhar Jha. There's an IC which has my name and the credit cards. He said, anybody like this stayed in your hotel? And the guy said, yes. Can I get his number? So he got my number from there. He called me up, verified, and then he says that this all these cards are there. There are some foreign currency. He took a photograph and sent me. Now after Swami tested, all this happened, how beautifully he closes the loop and comes back and says that I am there with you. The wallet has been finally got from my brother who went Delhi and got it back. So the point here is, it's very important for us to understand, we are receivers not tuning properly. If we tune, and the problem is we tune only when we are getting out of tune, when we are in misery, when you are in distress, you're tuning the most. Only if this tuning becomes rampant during our normal existence on day-to-day moments, if it becomes more frequent, I'm sure the transmitter is ready to transmit. So this is an important thing for us to brothers to realize. Swami is waiting for us. Okay, it's only for us to turn in and switch on the receivers, or match the frequency. All right, because after all, he's the cosmic clue. He's bound us. We are all here because of that love that Swami has propagated, by his manifestation, time to time immemorial, from the past avatars to the present Satyasai. So let's move on. It's a very pertinent reminder. This one we have played a few times even earlier. Let's understand the whole objectivity of whatever we are doing, activities, sessions, everything is nothing but one, to realize I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. I am this. So let's listen.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमि न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशाः न वा पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मेनैव वात्सल्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदं न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेद पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रम् गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभुत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न चासङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्नमेय चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् I am not the cause nor the effect. I am not the doer nor the deed. I am not this body, this mind, nor the thoughts. I am joy. I exist everywhere. I am space. I am bliss. I am what I am eternally. I am Sadashiva. Sadashiva.
So that's something was a very, very powerful reminder that, what our true nature is. Moving on, brothers and sisters, wishing everyone a very, very happy, blessed 2023. As the new year has set in again, the calendar dates changing and the pages turning over, we look at the pages. We have almost become like a robot or button controlled individuals where we see something and then we feel, okay, today is this, so I'm expected to be happy. Today is my birthday, so I'm expected to be more happy and do Narayan Seva or throw a party or whatever around, rather than understanding, as we saw in the previous video, that our nature is to be in Ananda, to be bliss, to be the Shiva, to be there's a difference between Shiva and Shava. Shava means corpse, Shiva means Lord, the essence, the source. Okay, when that I, Shava and Shiva, the I is there. When that supreme I, which is the God embodiment, which is the divine embodiment, resides in us, when that essence, that feeling, that realization dies out, it's not there. We become like a Shava, like a dead body. So it's very important for us to understand that for us to be in that state of Ananda, we must keep hammering this within us that we are embodiments of divine. That's why Bhagwan used to say Anand Swarup Lala, Divyatma Swarup Lala. Why? Because he is seeing through us that we are the same. It's just that we have not got to the stage to understand that. So, very happy New Year to everyone. And Swami's message on this New Year, as Swami said in 1994, you should resolve that you will start every day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. There should be no difference of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality. Love knows no distinction. And if you recall, we had done a full session on divine love, a complete, I think, 3, 4, or 5 weeks of session. And then Swami says, you must wish everyone to be happy, fill the heart with love. The country will prosper and the world will prosper, and everyone will be happy. And then this is beautiful. Many people expect New Year to bring happiness. We expect a date has changed, the calendar has turned, and definitely things will be happy. But beautifully, Swami says, New Year brings only the result of your past year. Whatever we have done, it changes over, brings in front of us. So it's very important when we are doing to understand we are sowing the seeds of the future. And that's where Bhagwan says, past is mystery, okay, the past is history, future is mystery, the present is the only present. Present means gift, so the present is the only present which is omnipresent. All right, so it's very, very important.
Sai Ram, Brother Bindu. Sai Ram.
Joy
Sairam brother Sri, can you hear?
Yes, yes, but we cannot hear Binduja. We can hear.
We lost brother Bindu, I think. Yeah. I thought maybe my side the signal problem. So,
The sun, Bhagavan says, is said to move Himachala towards Himachala. Hima and Achala. Hima means which is white as snow, and Achala that is firm, unshakable. What does this refer? It is a region of the heart, only in the heart that is pure and steady. The sun of Buddhi enters and shines. There's no need to undertake a journey in the external world. He's talking about, when we get into Uttarayana means we start a journey towards north. He's saying it's not that journey. The Uttarayana means turning the intellect inward towards the heart. The bliss that is experienced within alone is a true bliss. Sankramana is the time when the inward journey towards pure, unsullied heart is made. That means when we Sankramana in Hindi means transition, when there is a movement from outside to inside. And this is beautiful how he further explains in Satsang Speaks Volume 2. When you crave the thought of the Lord in the company of the godly, already then we are in Uttarayana. Never mind we are in August, September, October, November. It doesn't matter which month, which date of the calendar. If we have started connecting, if we are in that satsang, in that understanding, in awareness, we are already in Uttarayana, as Swami says. Then he says, Bhishma was in that mood. He waited for those 56 days before, the Uttarayan could actually start. And then he says, from what Bhishma prayed, from this transient world of decay, lead me into everlasting world of bliss. Asato ma sadagamaya. Give me the effulgence of thy grace and illumine my soul. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Save me from the torture of birth and death and destroy the cravings of the mind, which produces the seeds of birth. Mrityurma amritam gamaya. The prayer and that yearning Bhishma gave in the vision of Krishna, because Lord Krishna was there when he passed away. And Swami says that was the real Uttarayana. Every effort should be made towards inwards. The sages and seers, Bhagavan says, waited for this particular day to embark on their sacred task. And then this, Bhagavan says, Bhishma waited for it, but does not mean that one should go and hang himself in Uttarayana and expecting that you'll be redeemed. Why? Because you died in Uttarayana. It is the Nayana. Uttarayana is the quality of the Nayana, the eye. It is a matter of attitude. It is not Ayana, which is the solstice point, When your sight is on the Brahman, it is Uttarayana. So I think this is a very beautiful way Bhagavan has explained as the spiritual parlance of Uttarayana as we set onto this Makar Sankranti to start upon a adhyatmic journey, spiritual journey. Okay, he says to associate this with tropics of Cancer and Capricorn is just a convention. For real Uttarayana, we must make that effort. And going back to the video, effort is, we should realize I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. The moment we start getting angry, Bhagavan used to say, look at the mirror, say, I'm not a dog, I'm not animal, I'm not this. So whenever we start getting overpowered with any vices, anything which starts diluting our spiritual balance or understanding, let's again recalibrate, come to the median. And we all have done that session of to map our spiritual progress. Are we spiritually progressing? Where we spoke about how much time do we take to come back to the mean and the median position. All right. So it's an important journey. Uttarayana starts whenever we are turning inwards, looking to the source within, to the voice of conscience, connecting to Bhagavan. That's the day we have actually started our Makar Sankranti. And how does that happen? We are all going to the workshop called Puttaparthi. Why? Because put apart the eye that has created this web, which has got us uprooted from the real course of our journey, going back to Sai, merging back to Sai into various identities we have created. So what is important, as Uttarayana says, if we are into this journey, we must become a better version of ourselves, a better Hindu, a better Muslim, a better Christian, whatever we are, whosoever master we are following. The end objective is, if for us, is to reform ourselves. It's not to prove, but to improve. It to care about values and not valuables, right? It is to not look into the sadhan, but the sadhana. Sadhan means the means to attain. Sadhana is how we attain the being when you get transformed. Okay, not look into the data, but look for data. Okay, these are the important understanding cornerstones we must have in this journey as we move on towards this. And this slide, I think, let's see if we can go. This is an important slide, how the Uttarayana we can think about, how this journey is going to change in the true spiritual parlance which Bhagwan has brought in for us. This particular slide tells us, it encapsulates how our being should be, how should we conduct. Bhagwan, when creating watch, one of the devotees said, you know, what does watch stand for? Watch stands for WACH. Watch your words, watch your actions, your thoughts, your character, your heart. It's so important. And when we look at what, we look at the time. But if only we can connect this, watch your words. Whenever we are speaking, is it necessary? Is it going to hurt somebody? Watch your actions, understanding that every action that we are doing, whether in the physical or into the mental level, everything is having a residue, karmic residue. It's accumulating a karmic fruit and a residue which we'll be responsible for to neutralize, maybe to come back or to settle it. So if we are aware that this action is not going to hurt anyone, I think we have done that job. Watch your thoughts. A lot of time we think mind is something which is very opaque. It is not seen. Of course, your thoughts and mind is not seen by normal individuals, that we all are. But we are forgetting that it's leaving an imprint in our being, in our consciousness. The only thing which gets carried about once the body is shed, you know, when we die, is this subtle part of the mind, the chitta, the reservoir of memories, and these subtle memories. It gets carried away into the new form that we take, and this is software which gets loaded again into the new computer, which is the body when we take it. So if only we are conscious about thoughts, which is a big originator of all the actions, and sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a habit, sow an habit, reap a character, reap a tendency, sow a tendency, reap a character, sow a character, reap a destiny. It starts with the thoughts. And once we have streamlined and aligned thought, word, and action, and when you see the first three thought, word, and action, that is Trikarna Shuddhi already happens, and then automatically our character gets shaped into the alignment. Right? And then watch your heart, because it should not end only with the thought. More importantly is the feelings, and the feelings come from the heart. We radiate the feelings from the heart, and as had been scientifically mapped, when we think, we have electrical impulse generated. When we feel, we have got magnetic impulse. When thought and heart, mind and heart are in synchrony, it's electromagnetic impulse which is generated. And it's so important that when they are in synchrony, the magnetic field that we create, electromagnetic field, is tremendous. And that's why we feel so happy. If you remember, when we had, and I'm sure Brother Shastri and Brother Kumar and many of the devotees agree, when Swami used to come very close, giving darshan, suddenly you'll have no words, you'll just start crying, your eyes will start flowing in. And that we have experienced even in the bhajans sometimes. When your bhajans get so soulful, you just cry out. Why? Because this is where everything has fused into one. Thoughts, words, deeds, heart, everything has become one with one focus, that is Satyasai. All right. And when we do that, we are helping ourselves to bring the purity, because divinity cannot be associated with anything impure. So it brings purity of vision, purity of thoughts, purity in service. When we are doing a job, we must understand it. Never mind, boss didn't hear this, didn't hear. Always remember, Bhagwan inside us is listening, seeing everything that we are doing. It's like a VDR, it's like the black box being recorded. Chitragupta Bhagavan used to say, Chitragupta is there, which is recording everything, and he's going to play this up again when you come into the new form. It is going to be loaded again. Purity in profession, purity in sadhana. Most of the sadhana when we do, Bhagavan said, is it social service or social service? That is showing off. It's important that when you're doing a sadhana, our thought, word, and mind should be absolutely pure. Purity in self-study, purity in relationships, purity of water. Again, water, we have spoken about how water impacts our character of the being that comes out. because of, we spoke about the Emoto-san, a Japanese scientist doing the experiment where he experimented in different moods and saw the water molecules changing. So it's so important, if our thoughts are there, since we are made up of almost 80% of water turning into blood and so on and so forth, our thoughts is impacting. That experiment shows how our thought, how our word, he did experiment with thought, word, and then he put it into different streams. He picked it up from, he put in Hard Rock Cafe and then temple and church and all. So he came to the conclusion that our thoughts are impacting the water. So imagine if you are living into a negative thought or a depression or, something which is really pulling us down, we are impacting our being first. If we are too angry, we are impacting ourselves before we are impacting somebody else. So this circle, this particular slide tells us how we have to go about our daily things in life, whether it is personal, professional, or spiritual. Okay. And that's the only time when we can say we have actually embarked upon the Uttarayana. We've started the journey towards God. Not a month or a date decides it. So, and Sankranti means that transition can be brought about only when we have worked upon what is shown in the slides. So purity of food, again, one thing which I should not miss. Purity of living space. Bhagwan says, when you want to offer God, when your relatives are coming, what do? You clean. When you're, let's say, an unknown guest has come, you put him on the sit out, or you're expecting someone, you clean that part. When your friends are coming, you clean your drawing room and living room and put it up. When some relative is coming, you put one of the bedroom, the guest bedroom. But where your own parents or your own loved ones are coming, what do? The entire house is there, you clean up. But one says, when you want me to reside in your heart, just as you clean up your space, you clean your heart of the negative impulses. Because only when there is a purity, I am attracted, I automatically walk in, right? And last but not the least, we negate this. We don't give importance to purity of food. Brothers and sisters, Bhagwan has time immemorially reminded us, Annam Brahma, Jaisa Anna Vaisa Man. The food decides, rather than we're thinking, no. After taking it, we'll pray and Brahmarpan. No. Brahmarpan, yes, we must. But how many times we actually intensely focus and do the Brahmarpan? We do it as more a ritual. So before that, it's important we ensure that we are taking food in the right pure manner, with the ingredients, with the money that we have earned in the right manner. We are buying things because all this decides subtly an impact on our being. All right. So it's an important slide which I thought when we start upon this journey today to focus on. And let me see what is the next part of it. Otherwise, we'll. Okay, again, just to remind on the purity of thought. So, sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a tendency. So a tendency. Now you see how the habit, everything was external so far. And when you see a tendency, it started impacting your being. It started coming inside. When you sow a tendency, you reap a character, you become a good or a bad person, depending on what kind of chain of these thoughts and actions and habit has caused. And when we become that character, we automatically define and decide our destiny, which is present and the ones to come. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. What we feel, it becomes. With that, brothers and sisters, I think today's session we will curtail here. And surely I would. Okay, there was one thing I wanted to share. Let me see if it is the next slide on this. Okay, it's not here. Let me go to the slide. Okay, this slide. Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim. What does this mean? Param Pavitram, the most sacred thing that we consume is Baba's Vibhutim. Paramam Pavitram Leela Vibhutim. This Vibhuti is loaded with Leelas, brothers and sisters, as you can see. His name Vibhuti is endorsed. It's out of Bhasma, ashes, because it burns away all the sins. Okay? And then these are what Bhagwan has said, because it increases one's spiritual splendor. Sharam, destruction, since it removes danger. Raksha, its protector. This is how the Vibhuti is praised in Brihad, the Jabala Upanishad. The word Vibhuti and the ash have several meanings. When Kasturiji used to apply on a forehead, Bhagwan says, what is this bandage on your forehead? And Kasturi, laughing, and Kasturiji used to say, Swami, this is not bandage. This is not a bandage. This will liberate me from the bondage. That was how Kasturiji used to pitch in and say that, and how true it is. The vibhuti is the end state of any being, which will become when we finally merge into the five elements, and that ash. So it reminds us that nothing is permanent. We are all going to become that. Be aware about this and then work your daily routines or your life into that shape, understanding that we are going to become one of them. Now, there are several cures recorded, several things recorded in the history of the Vibhuti cure. We all know that. We all know how Dr. S.K. Upadhyay also spoke about Vibhuti working through him into many patients that he has dealt with in those African countries. And I remember the state president in Madhya Pradesh, when he went to one of the villages, he had this dream that you go and give vibhuti to a girl, particular girl in a village where she was in a terminal stage. And Sadeva Saab was the state president, and he offered that vibhuti, and apparently she got cured. So vibhuti has got so many recorded. In my parlance, what I just wanted to share today, it's very important for us to understand. Sometimes we undermine, we take it one time, we don't realize the potency of vibhuti. This vibhuti, brothers and sisters, from the time my brother's stage 4 cancer was detected, that time, I had gone to Delhi for before the first chemo, and we stirred the vibhuti water and gave it to him. So from that time of November, I don't remember the date, till date, he is continuing with morning and nighttime vibhuti water. Now, the apparent treatment lineup is 4 chemotherapy sessions and then a major surgery of stomach and then 4 chemotherapy sessions. I was there when all this was discussed upon. Now, what has happened is after 4 sessions of chemo on the stage 4 cancer, when the PET scan was done, couple of 10 days back, PET scan is again the entire scan. Can you believe what Swami does? In the PET scan, brothers and sisters, all those lights, the cancer cells which spread across, you could see that images. 75% of that has gone. Thanks to Swami. Please take this seriously. Believe it. Bhagavan is so omnipresent. His vibhuti is so omnipotent. Always apply it, use it. Whenever you are down, this vibhuti does miracles. It continues to do because of his love. I wanted to share this today to tell you that some of the people who don't believe in our family also, she said, now I can understand what miracle is, and they're doctors. So I think with that I'll end, to leave you with this thought that small little box that you have in your puja altar has got all the powers, and it also has a very important message for us, that finally we are going to be that kind of a dust. Let us keep that in mind and do good, think good, be good, see good for our life that we have. And that's a true Uttarayana. That's a true northward journey that we'll undertake. With that, brothers, Sairam from my side. I would invite Brother Shastri to share from his side.
Sairam brother Bindu. What a day, Makar Sankranti, and the experience that you have shared. Truly, I think it is the panacea, the vibhuti on daily basis, for sure. No doubt about it. I also would like to share one incident in a remote part of Africa. One of the known person for me, he saw Swami only once, somewhere in Uti in 1968 or 67, before Swami traveled to Africa, but of course he went to Kenya later. But somehow he developed love towards Swami and faith. He always used to carry one vibhuti packet with him. But he's actually, though he believes in Swami, he has other habits also, but he used to visit one restaurant, every single day. And the boy who used to serve him the drinks just collapsed right in front of his eyes. And the stomach started growing like anything, in size. So this man, without his knowledge, he just immediately prayed to Swami. He took out that vibhuti packet in his purse And what made him to do that, he says he doesn't know. But he took out that vibhuti and he spread on his stomach, the one which was bulging up. He says after a few minutes, before all others could gather and they could make a lot of noise there, he could hear a big sound, some kind of a big sound, noise coming from his stomach. And lo and behold, the size of the stomach went down and this man got up. This all happened in minutes of time. So what Vibhuti can do and cannot do cannot be described. So I think on this auspicious day, we wish your brother well, and soon I think it should be completely normal. Swami's 108 name today is Om Sri Sai Sarva Hridaya Vasine Namaha. He's the indweller of every single heart. I think today's talk of yours is also clear in that. See, Swami's talks or his words that he used to speak in Varanda, though very casual, but everything that he spoke is very important. It is coming true to us today. When it comes to, we used to go with those small photographs for signature. Okay, somebody with just 1 rupee or 2 rupee one, somebody with a very big 200, or at that time 200 was much. So in 80s. So Swami says, why are you wasting your money? And then he would explain, go on, keep me here, keep in your heart, firmly. And also he used to explain so patiently, also firmly. Today you're all looking at me and you're doing the namaskar. And tomorrow when you don't see me, don't turn back and don't turn the picture back. So and also while keeping the picture, make sure the nail is strong. So I think all these are indicators to us and prepared us very strong. I mean, see, I think we are all chosen few and we are here in this part of this journey. Whether it is there next or not there, we don't know. But still, I think we are all blessed, and let us all live in that bliss on this Makar Sankranti day. One more small thing that is there to just want to share. At Swami's golden chariot, that sundial. I still remember Chettiar of Madurai. He sat for months and months, and I don't know, 1 year, right at the place where Kyaldas and his brother used to sit there at the pillar. And Swami used to come, ignore him, never speak. He never spoke to him in a word. What was the reason is he wanted to donate the chariot to Swami. That was the whole thing. One evening, Swami just comes, very quiet. He just went for darshan rounds. He came back and interview was done also. And then he came back very casually, standing there and looking at us. Ayyo Papam, this Chettiar has been sitting for so many months. Do you know what? He wants to give Swami something, and Swami is not accepting. And then Swami continued to say, looking at him, and that man is crying. When he's not talking to him directly, but he's looking at us and talking about him. And he has everything, whatever you want materialistically is so. But Swami wants only the heart. We really don't know the plight of that Chettiar. So Swami said ultimately, Swami is always pleased only with how we worship him, what space we give him in the heart. So I think, when he was a small child, I believe, when he was 5 years old in his house, he was sitting royal in a nice chair, wooden chair, and some elderly person came and asked him, I am coming in and you're still sitting on the chair. You don't have any manners to get up and give me the chair. Swami said, one day I will sit in a golden chair. So the golden chariot is not that he had to prove something to the world, but I think he knows what of course, he is everything. So
this was also in the Sukhanadi. This was also part of inscription in the Sukhanadi, where it's already written, the Lord will be sitting on the golden chariot that particular day when Swami sat. That's
true. And Swami gave that the darshan of the sun, it was Shiva and the sun and moon to the Vijayamagaru and team. I mean, so he has come for a purpose and he has done that, and now he has left to us to follow and be blessed.
Okay. Wonderful, brother. Thanks a lot. Hridaya Vasine Nama. Yes, absolutely. I think that's the fact. That's the only thing we are not following. We are going out on temples, churches, Puttaparthi as well, everywhere, not realizing Bhagavan has said, I reside in your heart. Hridaya Vasine Nama. Only if we are able to cover this small 1 feet distance from the mind to the heart, I think we would have reached it. Okay. Thanks a lot. Once again, a very happy new year and very blessed Makar Sankranti. We close on this note with Samasta Loka and we continue with the 2-week bi-weekly satsang session here on. Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलिए भगवान श्री सत्य साईं बाबा जी की जय. Sairam, brothers and sisters. One more important thing was in Puttaparthi. I met brother Nishikant Barodekar, the one who is college and also who's in the music college, and I apparently saw him near the Ganesh temple, and I met him because I always used to listen to his talks. And I said, if Swami wants, can you come to Singapore, for sharing? He said, why not? So thereafter, I've communicated this to Shiram. I think it will be very good to have him because of his immense experiences. He's a tabla player, he's a tabla maestro, who's direct disciple of Ustad Allah Rakha, and a lot of lovely things he has to share. So I hope Swami this time blesses us sometime soon with him to come for the satsang. Sairam, brothers, have a blessed Sunday and we catch up again. Thank you. Sairam.
Have a good year ahead.